Hello, I'm Deborah Harrison-Sowles, Chief Officer from Autism Hampshire, and I want to highlight the fantastic work that we're doing on the Employment Pathways scheme. At Autism Hampshire, we're absolutely committed to getting people into work, and this video has been produced to enhance the opportunity for employers to become autism-friendly employers, to hear the benefits, the trials and tribulations that people have in trying to gain work. But fundamentally, we want to highlight the huge untapped workforce that's out there, people on the autism spectrum.
So employers might want to seriously consider employing somebody on the autism spectrum because given the right reasonable adjustments, they can bring a unique perspective to the job. It stands to reason that if people on the autism spectrum have brains that are slightly differently wired to what you might term neurotypicals, they're going to see the world from a different angle. And in a lot of cases that's going to be a positive thing. They can also bring hyper-focus to the job. So if they're actually interested and passionate about what they're doing, it coincides with a particular interest they have already, they are going to view work as an extension of that interest rather than a tiresome task that they have to do from 9 to 5 to earn money.
Oh, there's a lot of things I really enjoy about my job. I like the company of very intelligent people. The area where I work is very challenging technically. I like the sequence of different tasks that extend my knowledge. So I like learning about things. I like the level of challenge in software engineering, particularly getting into depth and detail about a particular technology. I like exploring things and creating things.
What I enjoy most about my job is working with numbers because I find them easy to calculate in my head and even using a calculator.
Any company needs a diverse range of people working for them to function correctly, and never is that truer in a police service. It's really important that police officers and staff understand the community's needs and how to appropriately respond to them. And you can't do that unless you have adequate representation, and that means employing people from every background, every community. And that's also important that we employ people with a range of protected characteristics.
So I believe that the company I work for has quite a few people with autism or Asperger's syndrome already working there. So they are used to people being a bit different, and they embrace that difference and use it constructively to achieve business goals and to bring the communities together within the company.
Autism Hampshire and Education Development Trust have come together to develop the series of workshops for those with autism. We have taken advice from those that live with autism, trainers within Autism Hampshire and National Careers Service management team and careers advisors to put together workshops on CV advice, job hunting and interview skills. We've adapted current material for those with autism to help them move forward.
Challenges that people on the spectrum may face with regard to employment, in my experience, will be three phases, which will be initially paperwork. They may find that problematic to complete. Then actually the interview process, again, they can find very difficult, maybe not giving eye contact or not answering questions in a way that the interviewer might have perceived them to be answered. And then initially the into-work process when they first start that new job, i.e. finding their niche, if you like.
So my biggest obstacle looking for work is one, not knowing when to say I've got autism, and A, say when the question is phrased, if it's not direct, I might not understand what they're asking me and I might not give the appropriate response.
I would tell people about being on the autistic spectrum whenever it is relevant to do so and when I feel it's right to do so. So in the employment process it would be at interview, and then with other work colleagues as and when I feel that it's necessary to do so.
People with autism experience a range of difficulties, but these vary from person to person. So in general, they might have difficulties with social interaction and communication, but they also might have difficulties with flexibility or sensory issues. They might be hypersensitive or hyposensitive to certain stimuli.
The challenges that people with autism face within the workplace are very similar to other people, really. It's just about understanding their personality and their needs and adjusting to them in the workplace.
In order to accommodate people on the autism spectrum, there's this rather vague term called reasonable adjustments. And this isn't rocket science, it's just basically making a work environment and the conditions of work conducive to bringing out the best in somebody on the autism spectrum. So that might mean reducing the amount of sensory input if the person has sensory sensitivities. It's about clarity in terms of what's expected of them. In some cases, rules, straight do's and don'ts, right from the beginning. And given those reasonable adjustments, a lot of people on the autism spectrum can thrive.
Our company recently employed somebody with autism. We found that her strengths were numbers, and we've encouraged her with this all the way. I'm very proud to say that now she is on a bookkeeping course at college and doing extremely well in the company.
It would mean everything. I could get independence, I could get my own house in the future, you know, just so I'm not still living with my mum and my dog. You know, I love them, but I want to have my own life as well, not just staying in the same place.